fight. Who's next?
Who's next? I just said that's 3 now.
A fighter who defies the odds and outdoes the norm, year in, year out, is returning to the sport to unleash a second serving of raining hell upon his super middleweight gringos.
I fight anybody, and I fight all my entire life, anybody.
And in tribute to this, we've taken a step back, or 6, to look at what previous victims of Canelo Alvarez's hit list had to say for themselves after their defeat.
You'll hear the words, and still undefeated.
I think Canelo is a better fighter than Andre Ward.
We usually like to start off by jumping back to the start of the most recent chapter of a boxer's career. And continuing this trend, we roll back the clocks almost 4 years, when Alvarez took one more leap for greatness in an attempt to become a 4-weight world champion.
Are you at least a little offended that Canelo chose you to go up 2 divisions and he picked you out specifically because he thinks he can beat you?
I'm happy. This is a big test for me, you know, like to prove one more time that I'm best light heavyweight in division.
You heard that Canelo wanted to fight you. What were your initial thoughts?
I don't think that Canelo will win me.
I'm ready to make history. I'm ready for this great fight with Kovalev. Ready to make history here.
A ballsy move nevertheless, but a razor-type performance against the Crusher's jab meant only one thing was needed to end on a conclusive note.
Part of that fight looked like the game plan, it was working for you. Was it?
A little bit, you know, I tired like after around 6 because I had a last fight very close, you know.
I think Canelo is a better fighter than Andre Ward.
100%. But Canelo fighting everybody, you know, like.
People were saying that fight was fixed, meaning that you threw that fight because you weren't sitting down on any of your punches.
And we waited like 1 hour to see the dressing room, and I burned all my energy by mind, you know, like already stepped inside the ring, like I was empty of the energy.
I did not think he was going to fight the top guys at 168.
How many fighters
proving us wrong again?
Moving onwards, but back downwards for another stab at super middleweight supremacy, Canelo kickstarted his run for undisputed greatness by challenging himself against the tall and highly rated Callum Smith.
The fight of the year for the WBC, WBA, Ring Magazine, 168-pound World Championship.
I understand I'm the underdog. You know, you look at social media, a lot of people don't really give me a chance in this fight, but I've been here before. I've done the me world title fight, and if anything, it gives me a little bit more motivation, a little bit of a point to prove.
After being mauled for 12 continuous rounds, Smith's defeat and injuries shown that the Mexican had leveled up massively to dispatch such champions in consistency. And coming out completely unscathed for the most part often seemed pretty remarkable considering.
Next.
Who's next? I just said that's 3 now.
In there for 12 rounds, what's going through your mind right now?
Devastating, listen, I never wanted to lose. It's all I'm getting me in it, but yeah, no excuses. Listen, I think I may have outgrown the weight. I don't feel as dominant at 168 as I used to be. It's a tough pill to swallow, and I know people can say, well, you lost to the best fighter on the planet, but it doesn't really make it any easier to underestimate your opponent's power. But it was more just his presence. He always keeps you thinking of what's coming next, and before you know it, he's closed the gap down without throwing a punch. And ain't the best version of me for whatever reason, but I'm not going to sit and moan and make excuses.
As a previous sparring partner of Canelo's and appearing as a WBC mandatory obligation, the fight between Canelo and Avni Yildirim wasn't one that fans had quite anticipated.
You have to do something special in there on Saturday night. Are you ready to put it all on the line, all your heart and soul, to try and make history on Saturday?
The gap in ability was obvious from the start, and after the first knockdown, Yildirim's desire wasn't the only thing that failed him, but his heart also.
Canelo won that fight. He had an option to vacate the WBC belt or fight Avni Yildirim. He couldn't have kept the belt if he didn't fight Avni Yildirim.
To be honest, Avni was not Avni when he fought Canelo. Even people will not believe me, but you can't judge a fighter with only one fight.
Canelo might look at that and say, look, you know, now's the time to get him. We're getting now. He didn't look too good. It is what it is. But Canelo Alvarez is the one I want next, and I'll put that performance right 100%.
With the warm-up out of the way, the year finally began for Canelo. And as May arrived, it happened to bring a different type of challenger to the table who offered another missing piece of the undisputed puzzle.
Yeah, what do you want to see?
What this out? You've not seen nobody with this out. You've not seen
Thank you. Climbing his way up the championship ladder at middleweight to then steal a vacant WBO belt at super middle, Billy Joe Saunders was often unfortunate to never land that defining super fight during the early part of his career. However, with an awkward, slippery style and granite confidence, it was easy to see why.
Sometimes, you know, that can make it difficult on yourself, and I just think that he's going to be bumping into the wrong man on Saturday night to be going over them titles.
Unfortunately for Billy Joe, it wasn't meant to be either. After being systematically beaten and broken down, leading to consequences that left him radio silent and absent from the sport for months.
It's a real shame. I think that is more damage than we think.
To Mark Tibbs, he said he couldn't see and he wouldn't let him go out. I thought Billy boxed beautifully. But Canelo's so strong, he took his time.
He let me get away with minor stuff at the beginning. Minor stuff. And he capitalised on it. I just felt, bam, all this went like numb and I feel like caved in a bit. The complete bottom line of it is this: I got beaten by the better man on the night. Get myself back into camp now. I'm back in, steady training. Let's see where I go. As long as I've got to keep enjoying it.
So I know a lot of you when I say that I'm going to win November 6th, because I am going to win November 6th.
Holding on to that final piece of the super middle gold, Caleb Plant had vowed to silence the very same critics that casted doubt above his head, attempting to prove himself worthy of being a champion by stepping up to the mark against the most notable test of his career.
You know when they found out? When it was too late. That's when they found out. And that's exactly when you're going to find out. Mark my word.
You don't know my level. You will see. November 6th. You don't want to find out.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. You can cheer for him all you want. You can boo for me all you want. I was born for this. This is my destiny.
So he will feel something different. Believe me.
With Alvarez unloading heavy artillery in usual Canelo style, it still seemed a task against the slippery Philly shell of Plant. But chipping away over the rounds, he was still able to find and expose the chinks in Caleb's armor.
I'm sorry for everything, my friend. Can I tell you something? When I said I would never talk about because I don't have to. My mom died. I'm saying I got up, so like, why is something?
I mean, at first he wasn't really punching like that. That's kind of why I started stepping to him a little bit, but you know, I just got caught pulling on the way back. You know, I had my hand up, and he kind of caught me on the inside. I didn't just come to, you know, hand my belt over or anything like that. So, you know, disappointed with the outcome. But like I said before, I'm not here to, you know, sit around and lick my wounds a bunch. In the moment, it didn't feel like nothing that was too crazy or too, like, you know, out of this world or something where I was way out of my depth or anything like that.
Unfortunately for Canelo, the following year didn't catch fire like the previous, as a tougher than anticipated bout with Bivol didn't end with the outcome most expected.
It is what it is, like I said, I lost, but I'm gonna get my chance again.
But remaining active and moving on to settle a previous beef, Canelo's obligations to keep the fans satisfied came with more than just aggression in the ring this time round, but more of a heated verbal altercation in the pre-fight build-up.
Is it the frustration that he won't say them to you and just to the media? Is that frustrating to you?
No, it's fine, and I don't need to do these kind of things to sell paper.
Hear that from you. You stand by the words that you've said in the past?
I do not think that we have like personal rivalry, but September 17th is coming. Whatever unfinished business we have, we are going to meet each other in the ring and resolve it.
Though not letting this disrupt his focus during the fight, Canelo comfortably outboxed a gun-shy Gennady as they both heard the final bell.
Those minor shots with which Canelo was successful did not surprise me. Maybe I was not that successful with my shots.
Looked like you had some trouble getting it going early on tonight.
Look his face, look my face. No, we're so clean because like this high level, high rapport.
And you are a champion, and that you may call it a career at that point?
Однозначно да, потому что я скажу так, во мне вот эта вот страсть к боксу еще пока не остыла. В данный момент у меня 3 пояса в 160, мне надо решать свои вопросы, силы, чему я очень рад. Где бы я бы ни находился, я, конечно, буду думать о том, как вернуться, с какими инструментами.